So I'm not really a huge planner per se. I'm not somebody to really hash out some long 5 to 6 month. I mean, that's like unbelievable to me. So you can imagine, I know some people out there have like 20 year plans set out. And if you asked me what I was going to be doing this time next week, I would have no earthly idea. I haven't even thought about next week yet. Yeah, no. I'm literally looking at a blank calendar because for me, planning too much, it steals from some of like the ambiguity that life has to offer. Like when you're so locked into a certain plan, a lot of my plan has to do with the random occurrences that will happen in life, like kind of the mentality of if I do the work, like life will take care of the rest of it. I'm not worried about the 5 to 10 year plan because I have today done. Like I got what I could do today. And so 5 to 10 years from now will take care of itself. Because who knows? I don't even know the person I'll be in 5 to 10 years. I know this is a hot topic to start the video, but it's what I've been thinking about. Because I've been trying to figure out what's a good balance. Because no planning at all isn't a good balance, which I wouldn't say I'm no planned at all. Like, it's not like I just spend all the money I possibly can every day and I do everything. No, it's nothing like that at all. But at the same time, in terms of my goals, they're not hashed out all the way. And they're not hashed out all the way because I want to leave room for ambiguity. I want to leave room for the unknown. I want to leave room for what I don't know yet. And I feel like locking ourselves into some plan, sometimes we put the blinders on. I'm reading this book and it talks about how, and I'll show you guys the book in a second. It talks about how kids don't really see things with blinders on because they don't have a definite view of the world yet. Like their view is still being molded. And since our view of the world is so molded a lot of times, by the time we're even like 18 years old, we put the blinders on and we think things have to be done a certain way, or things have to be said a certain way, or things have to be looked at a certain way. And a lot of times that puts us in a box, and it gets hard at some points to kind of like step back, look into the box, and be like, no, that's actually not what I want to do. Let's tweak that. Or I do like that. Let's keep that. And be objective with ourselves and find people around us that'll be objective. That's even the harder part. That's actually, I think for a lot of people, the much harder part, to find people that are able to stay objective around them, people that are able to stay honest around them, because so many people have people that just agree with whatever they say just to get them to shut the hell up. Because even people I don't care about, I'll just be like, yeah, you're right, or okay, fuck it. There's only a few people in my life that I truly care about enough to be like, no, I disagree with you, and here's why I think that type of thought is dangerous. There's only a few people that I'll actually even take that time to explain it to, that I even care enough to. And that's not to be selfish or anything like that. That's really just because we don't have time in our lives to be correcting everybody. I know that's just childish to me. I don't have hours every day to be a Twitter warrior correcting every single or commenting on every single post I see on Twitter that I disagree with. No, that's just not feasible for me. But like I said, we have to a lot of times try to step outside of ourselves and see things in different perspectives. And this book that I'm reading, it talks about, and I've talked about it recently, I've been reading it very slow because I've been pretty busy. And a lot of times I just wanted to free my mind. I'm not trying to always jam-pack my brain, but it's called The 10 Faces of Innovation. Got it from Half Price Books a few months ago. Actually, it's been a while now at this point. But The 10 Faces of Innovation, and the first one talked about, it's really talking about it from like an anthropological point of view. It talks about how humans as adults, everything's so negative, and I feel that. And that's why sometimes I feel childish compared to other people or something like that. But I like that. That's a compliment to me, to myself at least, because so many people, being an adult seems like it means to be locked in to your ways. You know, like this is what it is. And that's a lot of times what happens to the adult brain, because as adults we're so busy like trying to pay bills, we're so busy trying to meet people or do this or take care of kids for people and all this other type of stuff, that we don't even have time to take a step back, breathe, and try to tweak things to make them a little bit more efficient in our lives. But those are the times that we can really save to have more time to take breath, you know? Sometimes it takes that time, and I hope it makes sense what I'm saying, but it takes that time of thinking and just actually critically thinking about things that can be improved in our day-to-day life, in terms of like what time we wake up, in terms of the people that we're talking to, in terms of the type of media we're consuming, in terms of all that stuff, to be honest. And of course, I'm not perfect about that in any stretch of the imagination, but at the same time, it's something that I try to be aware of, and something that I'm thinking about often, to be honest with myself constantly, is what I'm doing conducive to really how I want to be living right now and what I want to be doing right now and the person I guess I want to be right now. I don't know. So that sounds too deep, but oh well. But I have the time. I spend a lot of time thinking. Like, I'll even tell people I'm busy or whatever, but I need time to myself and to really digest what's happening around me, like, constantly. And I think it's important. And so even on days that I feel like are off days or rest days, I wouldn't say like my mind is just resting, like chilling. And I need more days like that. But as somebody who's constantly reevaluating, constantly evaluating the situation around me, constantly seeing and maximizing these situations, one, it gets very stressful. As you can imagine, you know, but as somebody whose brain works like mine, it's the way that I can keep it sharp and keep it efficient. But weed helps, you know, that's where weed can come into play to kind of like ease that and allow some relaxation and allow some tranquility. Because we live fast lives, especially if anybody else is pretty much like self-employed out there. If you live a really fast-paced lifestyle, sometimes it's tough to reach like that tranquility. You know, it's tough to find that time, especially as more people and more things and need your time. It gets tougher and tougher, and I've just evaluated this a lot, especially with older people. They lose track of their time because they start giving up the personal things to give to other people, but that tears them down. You know, like it takes time to build a person up, you know, and that person has to take that time to themselves. And it's not a selfish thing at all. It's actually sometimes, I think I've talked about this in a video before, it's actually sometimes more of a selfish thing to be acting like you're selfless, you know, but sometimes you have to take that time and be like, no, even if the hard decision right now is to be a little bit more selfish and take care of myself, that's what I have to do. That's what needs to be done for the better long-term good of everyone around you. Whether it's like relationships, professionally, anything like that. And guys, none of the things that I'm saying are correct. You know, there's a lot of things are things I believe in the way that I see life and kind of my perspective from my two eyes as the young black male here in the South currently. But these videos are a cool way to kind of express myself and for you guys to kind of see the perspective that I'm seeing things from, and especially in context of the weed and how weed allows certain people's brains to function better in certain environments and not better in other environments, and learning that in ourselves and maturing. Because for me, I'm somebody who's just gotten used to smoking before and after most everything, you know? And whether that's best for me, those things have to be tested. That means you have to do it sometimes not smoking, and that means you have to do it sometimes smoking. You know, you have to constantly be seeing, and every age is different, you know, because I'm sure 30-year-old me is going to be a lot different than me now, which is a lot different than 18-year-old me in terms of how everything around me corresponds, not just weed, but specifically weed, I guess, on this channel sometimes. These episodes, like I said, are just a way for you guys to kind of see how I'm thinking, and somebody who's mostly self-employed, who's somebody who does social media day to day, constantly has to try to stay creative and try to come up with video ideas and try to reach out to people and really connect with people and understand people that you don't even get to see their facial reactions or anything, you know? If you guys really think about it, you know, I don't really get to see almost anybody. I've never seen somebody watch my show, so I don't actually even know what somebody's reaction is to the show. So that gives you guys kind of an idea of how hard it is really to do consistent YouTube and social media content, because it's based off of likes and stuff like that, but that stuff isn't necessarily the real, isn't really a reflection. You have to, it's hard to grasp on to kind of what your goal is and what you actually have to do in each medium. Because I know, like, for example, like a stand-up comedian, they're going off the reaction live of the people. Singers, they already know their numbers, so they know what their hits are, so if they're performing that, and I'm not comparing myself to those people or anything like that, but what I am saying is that each people have their art, and when it comes to like this YouTube stuff, I want to be as efficient and as good and bring you guys as good a content as possible. And with that, it's like really a lifestyle. It's like you really have to live a certain type of way to be able to make consistent content, to be able to put out consistent content, to be able to create, edit, make, put out, and push consistently all the time, every single day. Like certain things have to be, or almost even created around it. And a lot of people who don't make content at all, or don't make content on a mass scale, don't realize all the things that go into doing it, but it's a lot. And with that being said, like, life is going so fast and doing that so long and making time move so fast, there's a lot of times you gotta like stand there, like you gotta back up, you know, and just be like, wait, and just really digest what's happening, you know? Because even, for example, shout out to you guys, the Cannabis Library is almost at 8,000 subscribers. And I mean, obviously I started it the day, that day I started with Sergio, 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago now, and it's gotten to the point it's gotten to, and I do like media and social media and content full time now, and my life's completely different now than it was 2 years ago. And so even right now, being grateful for that, this channel having 3,000 subs, if this is being watched on my personal channel, the Instagram growing, the TikTok becoming a thing, and me getting on that and that growing. So just being able to grasp onto these things as they grow and as they come, and how I saw that, how YouTube I just put my hand out and just grabbed it and just kept moving along, you know, if that makes sense. That's why I'm usually scared to like overbook myself or things like that, to give myself the opportunity to be able to do things. 3 weeks ago, I didn't have anything to do, or I needed to make content. I wanted to go to Chicago, and it gives me the opportunity to be like, all right, let's go to Chicago and not have to call anybody or tell anybody anything. not calling off of any type of work. So when I'm constantly thinking about why I do what I do, there are certain reasons that motivate me to do what I do, and staying true to those reasons is like the number one thing, because the destination, which there is no destination, I mean, the destination, I guess, is death for all of us, but there is no end goal. But the destination is to live the lifestyle you want to live for anybody. And for me, live the lifestyle I want to live, be able to support me and the people around me, and be able to like spread positivity to people, like that's a huge thing to me, because I feel like there's enough negativity. People are always focused on the negative. Always. And with that being said, I feel like weed, and I feel like getting to talk over a J, getting to talk over a blunt, getting to hit a bong with friends, taking edibles and chilling, eating some mushrooms and chilling. Those are ways that people connect, and those are ways that people bring people together. So it's always cool for me to be in a position to where I can bring people together. And even on the live streams and stuff, my live streams aren't very big right now, and shout out to the live streams if you guys want to join in. Usually every morning and every evening I live stream, at least for like 30 minutes to an hour. Usually about like 8 to 10 in the morning, and then at night like 5 to 7, somewhere in there. So just watch out for that, turn on the notifications if you want to check out the live stream, if you want to come hang out and smoke. But yeah, I love bringing people together like that, because like talking and bringing people together and having these conversations is really a lot of times how like changes that we want to see are made. But it's also just how, like, I feel, at least for me personally, like people can be lifted up. People can talk about things. People don't have to be like talking about other people. They can actually be like talking to people, communicating. And I think weed and sessions are a very good mode of communication for that. And is it for everybody? Of course not. But I do feel like it's better than coffee. I feel like it's better than alcohol. I feel like it's better than a lot of those things that have become our traditional talking center points. I think weed is a much better option, or cannabis related products are a much better option. So it's a big reason why I like doing these videos, why I like doing the live streams, why I like hanging out with you guys. And I appreciate you guys for giving me the chance. It's definitely not easy, and all the socials are always like fighting against me to put this content out, but I think it's important content. In the history of time, like, nobody has ever wanted people to like be together and join together and like be unified or anything like that. So no matter which way you go about doing that, there's always going to be resistance. And if all I have to resist is like trying not to get some YouTube strikes, or trying not to like get banned on Instagram or something like that, that's nothing compared to like what other people that have tried to bring unity or whatever have faced, and not to put me at anybody that you would be picturing's level. But at the same time, people don't like people being together, so I feel like it's important. I feel like it's our job to ensure that people are. This is an impromptu video. It's not scripted. I wish, good God, I wish I could write a script. Like, this video has been at 20 minutes almost, like completely just off my dome. Like, if I could write this down and put this in a script and be able to do, like, I would have a whole nother skill set, but I can't. I can only just talk, which I'll take it. Appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me. Appreciate you listening to me rant for a little bit. Not too much ranting, but I really just encourage you guys to find a little bit of ambiguity. Even if you're not like me and you like to have that plan and you like to know what's coming next because you like that security. A lot of people have kids and shit. You're not my age, you have responsibilities. You got a lot of shit you got to do. And I respect that, but there's always time for life to surprise you a little bit, life to give you a little bit more than you thought it was going to give you, just because you put yourself out there and gave yourself a chance to kind of get caught by life, So Appreciate you guys tuning in once again. See you guys next time.